Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to Hakarat Tov. Today is Monday, and we just very briefly touch on the markets this week. Okay, I don't know what's going to happen this week because the world that we live in is absolutely crazy. Sometimes it seems like things are going to go really well, and sometimes it seems like things are not going to go very well. Like last week, Elon Musk and Donald Trump, their nuclear war they went through, it seems like it came to an end because yesterday they deleted all their bad posts about each other. So they finally made up, it seems like. And if that's the case, I think markets will be better. In truth, is that if the world doesn't destroy itself in the next couple of years, we're going to live in an amazing time. There was a great interview by Sam Altman, who is the CEO of ChatGPT, and the question they were asking him is about when do we get to a point where society reaches AGI, artificial general intelligence. Artificial general intelligence is when the AI has the ability of doing like a task like you can do. I can give this set of instructions, you do this for me. That means everything from beginning until end. For example, I needed to buy tickets. I go to Expedia. I'm not going to do it. I'll tell the chatbot, the AI, to go ahead find me the tickets. These are the dates, these are the times. And then it goes and does. It comes back as I don't like this time. Find me a different time. It'll go back. It'll cancel my old tickets and buy me new tickets. He says that's going to happen by the year 2027. Okay. By the year 2030, he believes we're going to get to something called artificial superintelligence. Now, he says it doesn't really matter when it happens, whether it happens in 27 or 30, but for him, and this is a very interesting metric, he says the most interesting thing is that what we're seeing constantly over the last 5 years is that curve going up of growth. And if it keeps going that way, that constant evolution of the programming, for better or for worse, it getting smarter and smarter and smarter and smarter, the real test of its ability is its ability to do new discoveries in science and medicine. That's going to be the game changer. That the fact that right now already you could go ahead and set it in a way where I could feed it my problems, and it'll figure out the problems. We're talking about coming up with new materials, new ways of storing energy, talking about new medications. I'm thinking the world that you think that is about to change radically. And in a world like that, we're talking about an unlimited amount of abundance. Unlimited amount. There's infinite amount of possibilities, especially if you know how to use every ounce of the material world around you. Okay, so we are in the middle of, so therefore I'm bullish long term. I would say don't worry about it, keep buying, keep hodling.
What's the point of doing anything? Like it's such like I wouldn't say doomsday. It could be the opposite.
No, because listen, whenever you have potential to go one way versus another way, it goes either way. Right. So we have the potential of building an amazing world, or God forbid, we have the potential of destroying it. That's up to us. Right. Look what's happening in Los Angeles. California is beautiful, stunning.
What they do?
They're burning it. They're burning it to the ground. I mean, like literally burning it to the ground. So if you don't have hakarat tov, if you don't have gratitude, right, it's useless. So this is what we're in the middle of. The last couple of weeks, we spoke a little bit about hakarat tov. We said in Vad Revi'i and Vad Chamishi, we spoke about the idea that the people that we're closest to are the people that require the most refining of our hakarat tov. And we also spoke about the idea that when we lack hakarat tov, we lack gratitude, we come to something called kafui tov. We come to ingratitude. And now that kafui tov leads to kefira, which means that if we're individuals that are unable to see the good in the world, you will ultimately come to deny God. There's a deep correlation there, yeah. Okay, fine. So he says as follows. This is Rav Wolbe in Hakarat Tov Vad 6. He says, the sages said, whoever denies the good done by him, by another person, will ultimately deny the goodness of the Holy One, blessed be He. Same idea. This is a quote from Pirkei Rabbi Elazar from the Chachamim, who says very clearly, whoever denies the good done by him to another person will ultimately deny the goodness done by God. The underlying principle here is that a person's character traits and attitude operates universally. Right? And we said this before, that midot don't split. When you have a particular midah in one direction, right, it doesn't split in a different direction. L'dugma. It can't be that I'm someone that has a hakarat tov in one area and won't have it in another area. If you're kafui tov in one area, you'll be kafui tov in every area. That's just the way it works. Midot don't split. A midah is a measure, right? And when you have it in one way, it goes universally everywhere. People don't think, well, I'm not such a bad person. I'm lazy here. If you're lazy here, you're going to be lazy there. Just the way it is. It's going to just catch up to you. It hasn't caught up yet, but in time it will. Okay, so if you're struggling with the concept, just give me time. I promise you, it'll come true. Okay, underlying principle is that person's character traits and attitudes operate universally. The way he behaves towards other people reflects how he will behave toward God. Because remember that the idea of relationships, and I often get this, Rabbi, why do we always talk about relationships? And the answer is because relationship is a muscle. And the way you relate to someone is the way you relate to everything. It's one muscle. There is no separate muscle for you and Hashem, you and man, and you and yourself. The same way you relate to yourself is the same way you're going to relate to your wife, to your friend, your parent, and Borei Olam. It's one midah. This is why it's so important to teach children at such a young age this concept of having, say thank you, say please, say just show hakarat hatov early on, so that in that space we're educating them, they'll be able to have this place of hakarat hatov later for all other things. So after discussing the traits of recognizing good from our fellow human beings, let's now turn the attention to the trait as relates to our Creator. Let's talk about God. The author, Sha'ar Avot Elokim, the gate of divine service, builds an entire framework of serving God on the foundation of hakarat hatov. He explains at length, the more complete the goodness received and the more profound one's recognition of it, the greater the level of service and spiritual connection that will result. Let's say that again. The Sha'ar Avot Elokim says that the more complete the goodness received, the more profound one's recognition of it, the greater level of service, meaning the more you can realize, the more you can internalize how much good Hashem is doing for you, the more you can see all the tov that is coming to you in your life, the more profound your avodah will be. Why is that? Remember, when someone does something for you, the natural response is, I feel indebted to you. And indebtedness. Do we feel indebted for all the things that we have? It's funny, in this week's parasha, Parashat Ba'alotecha, you see that the Am Yisrael say, Hashem, I don't want the man. Don't give me the man. And there's a lot of language that is being used, like, oh, it was better for us in Mitzrayim, it was free fish, they're complaining about
food that they never even
they never got free anything. They didn't get free straw. They're going to get free fish there. Like they just come. So what ends up happening is that you see that there's there's different freedoms that are limited, okay? Because no one has ultimate freedoms, and they're basically complaining, saying, listen, we want to be able to do whatever we want. I want the freedom to go wherever I want, to eat whatever I want, to be whatever I don't want to be judged every second. I want to wake up in the morning and see my food. I was a bad guy yesterday. I don't want to live in a world where everything is being measured. It's too much for me. I want to eat meat. I want to do whatever I want. So what does Hashem say? Hashem says, no problem. You're going to eat meat. You're going to eat so much meat. You're going to get sick of eating meat. Right now, what Hashem is really saying over there is that you don't understand the nature of a human being. Is that when you give him anything and everything that he wants, if he's kafui tov, he ends up hating the thing that he wants. You hate it. You despise it.
You always want what you don't have.
So God creates proper boundaries for human beings so that you could appreciate all the things that are beautiful. I often speak about this when I teach my chatanim, do chatan classes. I tell them, I used to think as a kid, I didn't grow up very religious, but I used to think that girls were the object of my desires. And therefore they were objects in order for me to have pleasure from. Okay? And that's the way I thought of it. Each one was, how do I get you to do what I want? That was my game. That was the game I always played, Jack. Anyway, so he's like, now he's listening. Okay, anyway, so how do you win that game? It's a horrible game. You get whatever you want, and ultimately, you know what's happening? It's not good enough. You want more and more and more and more. It doesn't stop until you get sick of the whole entire thing and you despise it itself. So what does God do? God says, you know what? Sometimes in life, less is more and more is less. So he creates boundaries for us. So if you can't first create a boundary of hakarat hatov, at the core, central idea is just saying thank you, feel gratitude for the things that you do have. Appreciate it. How do you appreciate it? Space. So he says over here, the greater level of service and spiritual connection will result the more you are able to see the tov that is coming to you. We must understand this clearly. In general, people are more careful with mitzvot that are stricter or more burdensome. One who is meticulously careful in his religious observance will fulfill the mitzvah even if he's personally lacking in gratitude. But the Chovot HaLevavot teaches about the virtue of Odah from a deeper place. And the inner level depends entirely on the recognition of goodness. The central area that we must now engage with deeply is this. It is worth emphasizing. The truth is that every person lives constantly only because of God's kindness. We say in the morning, he returns his soul to my body in mercy. Who does in mercy? What does it mean? The great reason to reflect, because the essence of hakarat hatov is recognizing the good. A person opens his eyes, he sees himself alive in the world, and in his heart should be stirred by acknowledging the good done for by the creator of the world. We wake up, all the brachot in the morning are all about these concepts. He's quoting Rav Dessler. He says, Rav Dessler says that this is the foundation of service of Hashem. We must recognize, this is a quote, that our entire existence is dependent on His will. When someone says, Moda'ani in the morning, we wake up saying, Moda'ani lefanecha, right? Or makes blessings, he's expressing Hakarat HaTov to the one who gave him life. We're not just making brachot, oh Hashem, you're so good. That's part of it. But that's supposed to humble me to recognize, wow, I feel the sense of indebtedness, Hakarat HaTov, to Hashem. And if a person lacks this awareness and does not internalize this, it is as if he is robbing the Creator and living without acknowledgement. This is the meaning of ingratitude. Whoever denies the good of another will ultimately deny the good of God. Therefore, when we're praying, it's not just saying recognizing that Hashem is good. It's feeling a sense of, wow, I am so grateful. I have another day. I am so grateful. I woke up this morning. I have like this crazy pain in my back, my lower back, right? I went biking yesterday, and I didn't do my proper stretches because I'm too old already. I got to stretch before I do these things. And now I have this tightening of stiffening of the muscle. I get up, I'm in pain, right? But I take it for granted. I don't thank Hashem that I could get off my seat without pain. I don't thank Hashem that I could walk properly. I don't thank Hashem at all. I take it for granted. I do nothing about it. So therefore, what we're saying is that part of our avodah as being Jews, as being individuals that are interested in developing a spiritual sensitivity that will help us with our spiritual journey, it's predicated on this ability to have gratitude. It is a dangerous trait because it damages not only interpersonal relations, but also the faith and spiritual connections. By the way, one of the greatest issues in relationships is when someone says, "What have you done for me lately?" What have you done for me?
Right.
What?
I hate to hear.
What have you done for me? Right? That's the wrong question. The question isn't if you recognize what the person has not done for you. The question is, you're able to appreciate all the little things they have done for you. It's the wrong mindset. The sages taught whoever denies the good of his friend will eventually deny the good of the Creator. This is the trait and the foundation of faith and service. Without it, even blessings and mitzvot can become empty rituals. We'll do this one last piece over here. And he says, and if someone wants to recognize the good or doesn't feel compelled to express thanks, he will never become a kofer bi'ikar, one who denies the essential truths. I think we'll stop over here. So ultimately what we're saying is like this. We're saying that out of all of the midot, out of everything that we have, right, we have to recognize that the things that we're lacking in this world is the wrong. If you're feeling like, oh God, it's not fair, you have not done for me, you're already kafoy tov. Think about it, like, if you wake up every morning saying, wow, I'm so appreciative of all the things that I have, there's nothing wrong with wanting more. But there's something wrong with wanting more when you can't even appreciate the things that you do have. And therefore, like I often say it like this, parnasa, we talk about all the idea of making money, right? We spoke about this before. Rav Dessler says, why doesn't God give you, if you need to live, let's say you need $350,000 to live a year, okay? Why doesn't just God give it to me on Rosh Hashanah? Boom, get the thing, I'm done. I have one big check in the morning, and it's for the whole entire year. So maybe not, but that's not my fault. That's you could do the same thing every month. You do the same thing every month. You get a monthly check, you get a weekly, however you get paid. Why doesn't just God give it to you at once? And the reason why He doesn't do it like that is because He wants you to have a relationship with Him. He wants you to come back. He wants you to pray. He wants you to see how He's sending you the money. If it comes in once, that's you don't think about Hashem for the whole entire year. He creates a reality where you're constantly coming back over and over again. Now, if you're not in a space where you could totally see the Hakarat HaTov, wow, like this Parnasa came in today, had this deal, I just did this whole investment in this thing called Handy Fam, and it looks like Home Depot is coming back and they're going to start shelving it, right? That's amazing. That's me being in a position where I didn't see anything for a few months, and now, boom, Hashem sends me the silver lighting. I get to feel Hakarat HaTov, but now it didn't make me as much money as fast as I want. That's already the wrong thing. I'm not in control of anything. My job is to respond to the situation. I don't control the situation. I can only control how I respond to the circumstances. And if that response is not predicated on Hakarat HaTov, you will never be happy with anything. And therefore God will give you nothing. If God gives you everything, there's two things are happening. Either one, He hates you. You got to check it to see if you're doing something wrong, right? Because He doesn't want a relation with you. Or, there's something that you're not fully appreciating.
How do you know if God hates you?
God doesn't hate anybody. It's not true.
How do you know if it's...
God does not hate you.
Okay.
I promise you, God does not hate anyone here. Anyway, have an amazing day, everybody. We'll continue tomorrow.